We've got a really interesting one. We're looking at how street culture, like intense personal drive and high-end branding, all smashed together in the cannabis world. Specifically, we're digging into the creation story of a brand that pretty much defined luxury cannabis. Our mission. It's to figure out how they took this journey from, well, poverty and spun it into this marketable, collectible lifestyle brand, how grit became, prestige.
Yeah, and looking through these sources, it's pretty clear this wasn't just luck. It outlines, what, a 5-year plan?
5 years, yeah.
And it shows how this really clear vision, executed consistently, took what was basically a one-person operation and turned it into this huge lifestyle brand.
Okay, let's start at the beginning, though. The foundation.
The mythos.
Right. The origin story they push is key. Founder was born in the Bronx, leaves in their 20s, heads to New Jersey. And the sources really hammer this point home. Started with absolutely nothing. No crew, no connects, and no blueprint.
0 connections.
It was a solo thing. From the dirt up, as they put it.
And that's kind of the genius, isn't it? That lack of resources, the no silver spoon thing they mention.
Yeah.
They didn't frame it as a negative they had to overcome. It became the story. It was the spark.
So the struggle itself was the selling point.
Pretty much. The whole brand identity was fueled by that survival instinct, proving you can, quote, flip nothing into something. They weren't just selling a product, they were selling that climb.
But, doesn't that narrative feel almost too clean? A lone wolf, 0 help. It's perfect marketing. How did they keep that authentic feel while, scaling up into a legit luxury business?
Well, they kept hammering it home. They made the struggle the core identity. By buying their stuff, you weren't just getting cannabis. You were sort of participating in that journey yourself, that feeling of upward mobility.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And this philosophy was locked in pretty early, right? The sources talk about 2020 being foundational.
Yeah, the mission was super explicit then. It was about helping everyone else grinding from the bottom get a taste of the luxury side of life.
And they weren't vague about it. They listed specific things, the kicks in the window we couldn't afford, the brands we dreamed of rocking.
Totally specific, grounded in real shared desires. It anchors the brand.
So it connects directly to that feeling of wanting something you can't have.
Exactly. They weren't just marketing to people who already had money. They were talking to the people who were aspiring to it. The goal was turning I wish into I got it.
That's a powerful emotional hook.
Yeah.
Selling the feeling of achievement.
Right. And it raises that key question, how do you actually brand hard work? How do you make the climb itself something people want to buy and collect?
They tied the brand not just to the fancy end result, but to the process of getting there. The product itself is the reward.
The trophy.
Which means the trophy had to look the part immediately. The sources say they jumped straight into packaging as prestige, no messing around.
Yeah, none of that gradual improvement stuff.
No cheap baggies here.
Right.
They specify glass tubes and bold design. Right away, it looks different, feels premium.
It's a statement.
The goal wasn't just containment, he was creating a flex.
Yeah.
It becomes a lifestyle piece you could hold, collect, and rep. You're buying the brand, not just the flower inside.
And think about that from a business angle. Glass packaging. That's a serious upfront cost.
Oh, yeah.
It immediately signals you're serious, you're playing the long game, aiming for luxury. It makes the product feel less like a disposable good and more like, I don't know, a cultural artifact.
Something you keep on the shelf.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't just toss a collectible tube. But okay, if you're going that high end on the look,
The product inside better deliver.
has to, especially in cannabis where people know their stuff.
Yeah.
And the sources do say the hype checked out. Reviews apparently rated the low, well, not just on looks,
But on smell and smoke, the actual craft quality.
which is crucial. The substance had to match the style.
So it's this perfect loop. The packaging hooks, the aspirational buyer, the quality brings them back. It validates the whole earned luxury thing.
And the goal, as the sources laid out, was this whole brand evolution, starting with the storm, the hustle, the struggle, and evolving into a standard luxury that's earned, expected.
It's that line they use, moving from window shopping to window seats.
Beautifully put. And controlling that image, that perception, meant they also needed tight control over how it actually got to people.
Right, the distribution. Which brings us to their whole drop strategy.
The engine behind it all. They had to balance making it feel scarce without being unreliable.
Absolutely. And that mechanism was known everywhere as the load. That specific weekly drop.
Tuesdays.
Tuesday routes hitting NJNYC. Talk about the genius of that simple system.
Well, it combined predictability with exclusivity. You knew when it was coming every Tuesday. Specific routes. reliable. But they clearly managed the supply, so it always felt like there wasn't quite enough. Classic scarcity model. That's what drives luxury demand.
So it's scarcity, consistency, and that cultural connection. The sources say it turned basic pickups into actual events.
People looked forward to it, planned around it.
And the marketing language leaned right into that underground vibe. Stuff like, come into a trap near you. Very direct, very localized buzz.
Yeah, it wasn't generic corporate speak.
And this is where things really blew up, went viral. The sources name-check specific drops. White Castle, The Load itself, and Gremlins.
Okay, let's break those down. Why those names?
Well, think about it. White Castle, that's not just burgers, right? It's a whole tri-state vibe. Late nights, specific memories.
Yeah, total cultural landmark for that area. Gremlins.
Taps into that 80s, 90s movie nostalgia. A bit quirky, irreverent.
So they're using these names that instantly resonate with a specific community. It's more than just a strain. It's like an inside joke, a shared reference.
Makes it instantly familiar, instantly cooler.
And creates that gotta catch 'em all feeling. But then they took it up a notch with the collaborations. That's where they really bridged street cred with undeniable luxury.
Totally. Look at the Byredo drop they mentioned.
Yeah.
Luxury isn't just the main product, it's the whole experience.
Yeah.
So each eighth came Joel Cologne, Byredo Cologne.
Yeah.
That's putting your cannabis right alongside a super high-end global fragrance brand.
It's a huge statement. It says, our product belongs in the same category as this expensive, respected thing. Elevates the whole perception.
Massively. And then you've got the Helado drop, became a huge NYC thing.
A staple drop, yeah. But what's key there, reinforcing the whole story.
The give back.
Exactly. They gave away 300 plus eighths to the community.
Okay, wait. Giving away product is great PR, great for the community, sure. But is it just giving back? Or is it also a super smart way to keep that from the dirt-up story alive, even as they're becoming this big luxury brand?
I mean, it's probably both, right? And that's why it works. It feels authentic, but it also perfectly serves the brand narrative.
Keeps the roots visible.
Yeah, the analysis points out they were really active beyond just selling, supporting the local scene, hosting events, deliberately keeping roots tied to the streets.
So they're not just strip mining the culture for cool points.
They're seen as putting back in. It validates the whole journey, even as they get more successful and presumably more expensive, makes the from the dirt up claim still feel true.
So stepping back, looking at this whole 5-year arc, what's the big takeaway for building a brand today?
I think it's about synthesis and control. In just 5 years, this solo hustle, starting with literally nothing, didn't just make a product, they built a whole new category, a new lane. It's proof that the whole story, the struggle, the climb from nothing to something, that whole narrative can be branded, packaged, and sold as like the ultimate trophy.
It's a really powerful model, honestly. Turning your authentic, maybe difficult origin story into the very thing that makes your product luxury. The hustle is the heritage.
And the product is the proof you made it.
Right. But, okay, that leaves us with a final thought. Something for you, the listener, to think about. Given how fast they rose and how much relied on these clever, limited drops, the scarcity, the cologne tie-in, the collectible glass.
Yeah, those tactics have a shelf life, maybe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how does a brand like this keep that feeling of permanent top-tier luxury once everyone knows the playbook, once the culture catches up and scarcity is harder to manufacture?
What's the next move after you've got the window seats?
Yeah. When that original struggle story starts to feel a bit distant, how do you keep that edge? How do you keep, the dirt under the fingernails when you're flying private?
Good question.
Something to chew on. We'll be back for the next deep dive.